Okay. So, all right, so you took some improv, and I'm sure you had ideas about what you thought improv was, and you probably have a different idea after having taken my workshop what you think it is. So I'd like to hear your comments about what you thought it was and what it turned out to be for you.
Yeah, well, originally what I thought, seeing Whose Line Is It Anyway and Drew Carey's work on TV, I thought it was just, comical, haha, like jokes and stuff. But what you actually showed me was how to create things out of nothing using the air and the space around you.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like the real focal point of theater improv is compared to like stage and show improv, what Drew Carey does.
Comedy improv.
Yeah, comedy improv was the difference between those two was actually like creating a setting and getting the audience to have one common view of things. Because I feel like if you told someone, okay, we're doing a skit and it's going to be Mickey and Minnie Mouse and they're at a Safeway grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
Like one person in the audience could think, oh, it's the Safeway in Sammamish, Washington, while another person thinks it looks like Stu Leonard's in New Jersey or something like that.
But what you have to do as, if you're taking Spolin Theater Games improvisation, is create the where, which I think is different than when you watch comedy improv, right? Because comedy improv comes from the head. It comes from pre-thinking funny ideas and trying to get them out in a funny way. Would you say that the improv that I was showing you actually connected you to another person in a way that you couldn't predict what was going to happen next?
Yeah, I think it was. You always had to be on your toes. It wasn't like semi-planned out.
Right.
I mean, you gave us skits to do, like when we were doing exercises and stuff.
The who, the what, and the where.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like you had to create it as it was going. You weren't thinking, okay, this person's going to say this at one time, so I'm going to like rebut with this or whatever.
So let me ask you, you think, so the purpose of improv then is not necessarily just to try to be funny, but to do what?
Is to like kind of show the crowd what's going on, like, or the audience, and kind of get them not necessarily involved, but knowing what's going on and kind of get them feeling like they're in the story with you.
Well, yeah, in actual fact, yeah, you do want to get them involved. And it's the intensity of your own involvement with your scene partners will draw the audience in. And that's theater. And this work, the work that I taught, Viola Spolin's Theater Games, was the foundation for all improvisational theater in the United States. She started the training method that began the Second City and all the way up to Drew Carey. But I think what happens is a lot of people, because was it a lot of fun?
Oh yeah, of course.
Was there laughter involved in the workshops?
Always, but that was never the point of it. The point of it was, right. I feel like. Well,
where does the laughter come from in the workshops, do you think, in our workshops? I mean, if it didn't come from trying to be funny?
Well, I think about half the time it's mess-ups. People like flubbing a line or saying something completely different that doesn't have to do with it, and people are just, oh, ha, I messed up, But I think the other half of it is like actually trying, and then you end up saying something funny, and then everyone goes along with it.
Right. Something spontaneous happens that wasn't expected.
Yeah.
And that's where laughter comes from, where real laughter comes from. And it's new to you at the same time it's new to the audience, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, because a joke is maybe new to the audience, but it's not new to you.
Yeah.
So when you think up a joke and then try to say something funny, you're actually not improvising. So, so what do you think the overall value of improvisation the way I showed you is?
The overall value of improv in the theater is, I feel, like I said before, creating a setting so that gets everyone involved and not just like comedy style where it's just we're telling you what's going on and we're just going to act it out.
Yeah. You don't have to start from a ridiculous premise. You start from a reality. And
create it into something.
Yeah, and the funniness and the fun and the laughter comes out of the fact that because you're both agreeing and sharing the same reality, and you don't know what the other person is going to do, but you're ready for it, as in a game. that's where the surprises come from. And I think that's a valuable thing to have. First of all, not only just for the stage, but I think it's also good to be able to know that you feel prepared to handle unknown situations, that you feel able to handle unknown situations without having to pre-think or worry or
Stop and think.
or try to plan what the other person is going to say. And that kind of spontaneous activity brings you into the present time, right? So you're not thinking ahead, and you're not thinking, oh, I just screwed up.
Yeah.
You stay right in the moment, and that's really a valuable life skill.
Yeah, I feel like you can kind of take that and apply it to life, as in, like, someone, like, it also teaches flexibility very well.
Absolutely.
Like, something changes on the fly, like, say, someone's birthday party, you know, they have a couple things planned, one of them cancels, so they have to like redo everything and set it for a different date, and you say, okay, well, yeah, I can probably work with that, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, let me ask you another question. I taught you this concept of gibberish.
Yes.
What do you think gibberish is?
I feel like the point of it was to help with communication and not just using your words, because I mean, people can be very descriptive, and you know, like good writers, they can write everything down and you know what they're talking about, and people can describe things very well. But I feel like, because a lot of the time when we use gibberish, it wasn't just talking back and forth, like sitting across from each other and talking.
Just using words to carry the ideas.
But we were using that to warm up into another activity. But when we were doing gibberish activities, we were up, moving around, and trying to describe